All right. So I think we are officially live. We're going to be going live here on Facebook and YouTube, going into a training for tonight. Just going to give people a couple of seconds to start coming in. And I'm also going to get a drink of water before we get started because we're about to get straight to the action. Alrighty. So, again, tonight, our training is going to be how to create a month's worth of content in just under 3 hours. If you're here watching live or you're watching the replay, you're trying to figure out how to create a system around creating content. As we know, creating content is a beast, and the way these platforms work, they want people that can keep attention on their platforms. Those are the ones that get rewarded the most. In order to do that, you need to have a system to one, create consistently, and two, know the framework that's going to be used for your videos so that you can actually retain watch time for these people, uh, have people watching you and scrolling and staying on the app. That's what they're rewarding the most. And then obviously we have other things like key metrics like sharing, liking, comment. But the biggest one is going to be watch time. They want people staying on their apps, especially now. You see, the minute a new app opens, everybody rushes over there. You've seen what just happened with Threads. I mean, overnight, it's already got 30 million. I mean, that was last time I checked. That was in the afternoon. I don't know how much higher it is now, but things are growing much faster. People's attention is what they want because they're running ads on these platforms. So you want to make sure that we're creating content that is keeping people on the app, but also that's made for our avatar or our client, our customer. We One thing that we get lost in very quickly is everybody wants to go viral. But at the end of the day, what most people don't understand, while viral might look good, the numbers look amazing. You have a large following. The video hits in the thousand, 100,000, hits in the millions. At the end of the day, if you're trying to sell a product and you're very niched into what you're doing, that's not going to actually convert into more sales. The point of my training tonight is for somebody who has a product, a digital product, it can be a physical product, a program that can be coaching, or they have some sort of service that they're looking to sell. In order to do that, you need to target your actual client customer base that are going to be into what you're selling. So you don't need to speak to everybody. And that's what viral content does. Viral content is general for the masses. That's why it blows up. When you create a piece of content that speaks directly to your client, there's a million other people that don't care because they're not interested in what you're selling. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind when we are starting to create content. We're only talking to the people that need our service or product. That's what's going to help us to convert more sales. That's what we're doing it for. And at the end of the day, we have to remember there's a saying that says 1,000 true fans. And that's just to show that you only need a small knit community to support and to serve and to really help. Because when you start getting into larger numbers, it's going to be a lot harder for you to serve people and be as impactful. So when you have a smaller, tight knit community, you're able to serve the right people and make sure the right people are coming into your community. It's not just everybody. So I just want to throw that out there, a little bit of mindset around the content. And the reason why I'm doing this training is because I want to show people how to create the content that's going to actually convert their message into more sales. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. All right. So crushing your content, learn how to create a month's worth of content in just less than 3 hours. It's all about systems, and that's what we're going to go through here today. So let's run through a little bit of my background, who I am. I go by Andres Senande. I run a video marketing agency, and my focus is coaches, course creators, and entrepreneurs. I'm helping them to grow their personal brands through video content. Most of the strategies that I'm focused on are all organic short form content. And then we also help on the back end, creating the funnels, the automations, the landing pages that's really going to hone in the marketing. Today, we're just going to be covering the organic marketing part of it, and that's going to be the beginning of the sales funnel, where it's attracting and bringing awareness to those people to even start paying attention to you, to even get into your sales funnel. It's the foundation. That's what we're going to lay down today. So again, we're going to be covering how to create content for the month, and this is preference. You can either do it in once a month, or you could do it weekly. It just depends on you and how busy you are within your business. But making content can be very, very time consuming. So without the right systems, it's going to be very hard for you. As business owners, it's even harder to find the time, because creating content is not just press and record. You have to come up with the ideas. You got to create the ideas, create the videos. You also have to edit them. So it's a lot of things that go into the process of creating content. That's what stops people from actually wanting to continue doing it and not stay consistent. So that is why you're watching this training, so you can learn my system and start to implement it into your own to start growing your brand. So the things that we're going to cover, and we kind of touched already on the first part, mindset around the video. The second part is going to be the actual workflow in the system, and that's going to be broken down into 3 different parts. So the first part, or the first hour, is creating ideas. And when I say the first hour, I don't mean we're about to be here for 3 hours. What I mean is you can take 1 hour to start creating ideas. The second hour is going to be the content planning and the scripting. This is where you're going to actually frame out how you're going to do your video, word for word, line by line, figuring out exactly what you're going to talk about in those videos. And then the last part, or the last hour, you're going to actually film the content. So let's talk about why video. We all know by now, or we should know, that video is key, right? Even though we did see like people are rushing over to the new app Threads, they want something new, but at the end of the day, video is king. I'm in there myself. I'm looking at Threads, and it's cool. It's something new. It's text based, but even in there, people are trying to figure out: do I bring video into it? How is it going to work? Are we just keeping it text? But that's how powerful video is, that people are trying to figure out: do I need to bring it over here to a text-based platform? So again, video is the key if we want to grow a personal brand, if we want to track ideal clients and customers, or just even to generate revenue through our products and make more sales. And with the right strategy and the right approach, creating content could actually be pretty easy and effective to get your message out. So this year, Business Insider, back in May, they said that 87% of businesses are already using video marketing as a tool. So I want to create this training and really make sure that you guys are taking notes and learning this, because I want to make sure that you guys aren't part of that 13% and you're crushing it. So these are the reasons why video is important. Number one, video is widely accessible. The way these platforms are right now, everything is video. Unless, of course, we're talking about Twitter, and well, even on Twitter, you have video. But for the most part, everything is running off video, and that's what's keeping people's attention. It's even easier now, and it keeps people on there longer than actual photos. Video adds value, so you can show somebody or teach somebody something within a video that a photo just can't do. And then the last part, a video can actually create or communicate a story. It creates emotion, and you can answer a lot of the questions around your product or your service by using video. No matter what business model or niche you're in, if you add video to your strategy, it's going to put you in front of much larger audiences faster, and it's going to make you and your business feel more of like a real person that they can connect with, as opposed to just hiding behind audio or photos all the time. So again, the mindset shift, what I touched on earlier, even just the people think that they need to go viral every time. That's not the case. Another thing I want you to think about is A lot of people think they're just creating videos just to be out there and look cool and popular. But I need you to stop thinking of your content as just regular videos. They're not. These are actually your employees that are going to be out there promoting and marketing your content 24/7. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, when I can't sleep, I'm scrolling and I'm listening to KP or I'm listening to Scott, who they posted a video earlier in the day, and now they don't have to directly be there to sell me. I'm watching them now later on at night. That's the power of video. And what we're starting to see now is just like YouTube, where a video can be trending for a while or still continue to get views months or years down the road. The same is starting to happen now with social media, where certain keywords might not be trending, but they'll trend again. And if you had those keywords or SEO in your videos, then you're going to be able to uh, get that video to spark back up. And now you're going to be having more engagement, more views out of nowhere. But if the content is good, it's almost like you're creating a piece of evergreen, and it'll continue to increase over time because people are going to be searching for it. And that also lets you know that if that's what's happening, that you need to focus in on the topic of that video and figure out why it's trending, and then start to create more topics around that same video. Very powerful. And now let's talk about some of the mistakes that I see. These are going to be the top 6. There's a lot more, but we'll keep it to the top 6 that I see business owners make with their content. I'm either seeing it myself on their page, or they're reaching out to me and they're having me audit them and figure out why their content is not working. So for starters, and you're going to hear me talk about this a lot throughout the training, they don't have a good hook. If you don't have a good hook, you're not going to get anybody to stop and watch your videos. So you need to have that hook. Otherwise, creating the rest of the video is pointless because they're not going to watch it. The second thing, they don't get straight to the point. They start adding all this unnecessary info. They might start to introduce themselves. When it comes to short form content, these are quick bites. There is no introduction. Even on YouTube now, with long form content, a lot of these intros are much shorter than they used to be. You used to do a 30-second intro, a minute intro. That was like your branding intro. Nobody wants to see that shit anymore. They would much rather have you get straight to the point and then give me some little logo with some music for 5 seconds and get right back to it. And the same thing with short form. We don't have time for intros. We need to just get right into the point. Give me the hook. Let me know what the video is about and get right to it. The third part, again, introducing yourselves. Nobody cares who you are. So you don't need to tell people this is such and such with this company, and nobody knows who you are. They want to know what kind of value they're going to get from you first before even knowing if they're curious to want to look through your stuff. So make sure you're not introducing yourself. That can come much later once you start building your community, and they're going to know who you are. So there's no reason to talk about it. Just like in this video, I touched on it real briefly, nothing crazy, and we started getting right into it. The fourth part, too much information. These videos are short, and I just want, like, the same thing. We got to get to the point. So if you have too much information, you're going to lose me. Even if the hook was good and you started your video well, like really, really well, I only got about 20 seconds less before I'm saying I'm out of here. So give me the value that I came for. And videos, again, the fifth part, some of these videos are too long. You want to keep them under 60 seconds, preferably 30, if you can get straight to the point. Now, one thing we are seeing is that on TikTok, for example, longer form is doing better. And by longer form, I don't mean as long as YouTube. I just mean about a minute to 2 minutes. That content seems to be doing a lot better, but it is much harder to do 2 minutes. So what I suggest, you to get more comfortable in front of the camera, you actually start to do the short form content where you're doing 30 seconds. Those are much easier to do once you get more comfortable and you're much more savvy in the information, and you know how to articulate it better. That's when you can start doing some of the longer form stuff. And then the last part, and this is also very important, misleading or clickbait stuff. So in your hook, you better tell me in the actual video what the hook said it was going to promise. Deliver on your promises. If I just watched your video and your hook got me to stop and it didn't even talk about that, I'm not going to trust you anymore. I don't even want to, I'm not going to look at your page. I don't want to know any more content. I just felt misled. So make sure that your hook is being spoken about and solving the issue or the awareness that your customer is looking for. All right, so now we're gonna actually get into the process and the system that I use for creating content. So I hope y'all ready because this is gonna get a little crazy in here. So the first one is gonna be this is the first hour or step one. This is where we're gonna start thinking about content ideas. We're gonna start getting the wheels turning in our brain and brainstorming. We're coming up with topics and ideas within your own niche and your own industry. Now, this can be a little bit overwhelming. So, where we want to start is what are the most common problems within your industry? What are misconceptions or what are some frequently asked questions? This is usually a good base to start because these are things that are happening right now that you can actually start solving ASAP. And then obviously there's going to be tools like Answer the Public, Chat GPT, YouTube, social media, and Google. There's going to be a lot of information on there that you can take and be able to put into your own words. So I'm going to share my screen now. I'm going to show you exactly how I use those tools so that we can get a bunch of ideas listed. Okay. All right. So the first one, this is going to be Quora. Okay. So you'll come up here to search. You create an account, and I'll do my niche, social media marketing. These are all questions that are being asked within my. This is a keyword within my industry. What's your best social media marketing tip? How can I learn social media marketing? What are the benefits of social media marketing? And if you look here, there are 1,200 answers just in this one question. There's another 1,200 answers right here in this question. There's 1,300, there's 400, there's 600. These are people that are bringing their expertise and giving their thoughts and insights into answering that question. So now you can see here, this is about 18 hours ago that somebody answered a question in here. 8 hours ago, June 29th. So these are pretty recent. If you start seeing some older stuff within your keywords, then you could always come over here and just do like the past week or the past month, and you'll get the most relevant things. So let's go into here, right? What are the best strategies? Okay, so let's click that. So here, we already have somebody that answers it, right? Brands of all kinds and sizes use different marketing strategies. What brings together is the goal. Okay. But then underneath here, you have more people that are answering. A lot of businesses do social media marketing wrong. They hear everyone scream, you must have a social media presence. So again, this is going in here, and obviously you know your industry. So you need to go in and see exactly if it's aligning with what you teach or or your morals or the way you view your industry. So this, I would open it up. You can come in here. She's got, bullet. Each one of these could be a bullet point. Dedicate time to learn how social media works. Listen to your customers. You can actually copy and paste this and put it in the Chat GPT, have them reword it, have them condense it. Say you want to do it for a 60-second video, and just start to frame your content that way. I'm not going to get into the specifics of Chat GPT because there's a lot of different prompts and stuff that will help. I'm just not the expert on Chat GPT, but you can definitely use it to start getting your frameworks done. So that's with Quora. Now you have Answer the Public. Again, make an account. This is free. Quora is also free. I didn't mention that before. So you have social media marketing as my keyword. There are 702 results. The search volume is about 40,000, which it's got good next to it. And then if you wanted to run an ad using this keyword, it can cost you anywhere about $7, just so you have an idea. Again, this is more organic stuff that I'm teaching, but I'm just kind of giving you a breakdown of what they're looking at on this app. And there's been 121 questions just using that keyword. So when you come down here, it's going to be very hard to see. Actually, let me get rid of this. This is a wheel and it's broken up into different sections. So who, how, which, why is over here, what. These are all questions that people are asking within that keyword. So I'm gonna bring it over here to data so you can kind of see the breakdown. So is social media marketing effective? Is social media marketing worth it? How social media marketing helps businesses? How has social media marketing evolved? How social media marketing increases sales? So you can start taking these questions and take them into Quora. You can take them into Google, and you can start to use these to get the wheels turning, in case you just don't know where to start or what questions to even ask. So it's just a good resource to use. The next thing is I mentioned YouTube. So again, my keyword, let's say it's social media. I've already done the search. What we're looking for here is not so much the video. There's already the content out there, which if you want to take those ideas, you can too and put them into your own words. But what we're actually looking for here, we want real time. So we're looking for the videos that have higher views, or at least they look like they have a lot of comments. Because what we're looking for is people in the comments that have questions. Maybe the video was great, but for some reason there's something that wasn't answered. And that is your opportunity to now create the content for that person. You can even reach out to them and answer it underneath and reply. And then, if you were to do that and then create a video that same week about it, and that person now comes to check you out, they're going to want to look at more of your content, especially if you help them out. So what I'm going to look for a question right now to kind of get an idea. Let's see. Okay, so here's one. Do you have a standardized marketing plan and strategy form that can be used in an organization and their teams? Okay, so that's one question. Will you be doing a video on group emailing anytime soon, or how to gather an email list? So again, this was asked 4 months ago, but maybe this person never made the video. Whoever this Jake Nicholas is, he wants to know. So why not create content? Because if he's searching for it on YouTube, he's also going to be searching for it on other platforms. So if you create a video of this topic, he may run into your video. And there's other people that are also going to be asking these same questions. So YouTube could be a very, very powerful resource if you're looking at it this way. The next part, and this is why I actually love TikTok over all the other apps, they go over SEO more than anybody else. And Instagram is starting to catch up, and then obviously Google. But here, if I type in social media marketing, I'm going to get a drop down menu with all of the keywords that people are looking for. So, strategy, tips, agency, how to start, pricing, course, salary, jobs. This is everything that people are looking for. Then, on top of that, once you hit the search, you start to see all the people that have posted, and you can see exactly what titles, what hooks they're using, how many views they're getting, and the same thing. We can open up a video. My content's ready. Put pause on that. And you can do the same thing you do on YouTube. Look for questions that people are asking. Instagram is another place you can do this. Look for, can you explain the last spreadsheet further? So whatever spreadsheet she's going through in her video, they want to know if they could expand on that. So again, you're just looking for questions on here. Instagram, look at some of the bigger influencers or marketers within your industry, and they're gonna have a ton of comments. And unfortunately, their communities are so big that they are not gonna take the time to go in there. The only one that I know that does that is like Gary Vee. Everybody else is just kind of, they'll jump in, answer a few comments, but if they have 1,000, there's no way they can get to them. So that's another opportunity for you to get in and start, helping out people within the comments, and then get those questions, turn them into topics and ideas for your videos. All right, so that's TikTok, just to give you a little idea. Now with Google, this is actually my favorite one. And if you just wanted to use this, then you can. So once you type in your keyword, so social media marketing, every time you hit one of these, you're going to get more questions. So you can hit these all day and just continue to get more and more. This is the section where it says people also ask. So this is real time information. Google's already doing the legwork for you. What do you do as a social media marketing? What are the 5 P's of social media marketing? What are 3 types of social media in marketing? How do I start social media marketing? I mean, you can just do this for the next 5 minutes and you'll have so many questions. Again, like I said, if you wanted to just use Google to do this, you could. And then start taking these. Let's see. How many followers is enough for an influencer? It'll give you the exact article and the information there. Take it to ChatGPT, spin it around, put your own twist to it, and you have a video. You have a new topic, another idea. So there's really no reason for you to sit there and say, I don't know what to come up with or what topics to talk about. All right, so now let me stop sharing my screen. Okay. All right. So again, all of those resources are going to make your life easier. So from there, you should be able to get 50 to 100 ideas just brainstorming. And then we're going to take it to the next part. So the second step, or the second hour, this is going to be content planning, and we're going to be doing the scripting. So now that you have the 50 to 100 video ideas, we want to narrow it down because we want to make our lives easier, right? And we're looking to make content for the month. And if you're just starting off, 20 to 30 is what we're looking to aim for. So take 20 and 30 of those ideas you brainstorm, and those are going to be your new videos. We want to make sure that these 20 and 30 are going to follow the criteria that I've listed below. The first is that they're relevant to current events, trending topics, or popular interests. Now, because we're doing a lot of the searching for on relevant videos on YouTube, on TikTok, this is going to be more relevant information. So if you do it correctly, this is automatically going to fall in that category. The second part is there an emotional appeal? So such as humor, is it shocking? Does it inspire? Does it put fear in people? Third part is unique and creative, geared towards your personality to stand out. If there is a influencer that is crazy and they're bouncing around everywhere and they have a specific way that they teach, don't try to emulate that. Find people that are similar to the way that you teach in your style, or take that content and try to put it in your own way or in your own style, like 100%, because you want it to feel like it's authentic and showing who you are. And then the last part is you want to make sure that it's relevant to your audience's desires, their goals, or their biggest pain points. So once you have those 20 to 30 ideas, you've already qualified them and they're ready to go. Now we need to talk about scripting. When we script videos, there's 3 different parts to it. The first part, or let's look at it like we're making a sandwich. It's a top bun or the top slice. This is going to be your hook. Again, I've touched on this. You want to make sure that this is where you're going to put most of the emphasis on your video, because without taking care of this part, everything else makes absolutely no sense to even continue working on. So this is going to be 1 to 2 sentences that's going to let the viewer know what the video is going to be about or what promise you're giving them. I can't stress it enough. You have to put all your focus on the video. If you spend 20 minutes on the video scripting it, I need you to take 18 of those minutes to make sure that the hook is right. The second part is going to be the middle. This is going to be the meat of the burger. This is the value. So this is the part where you're going to actually give them the tips, the solution, the promise to actually help them. And going back to it, you don't want to make a super long video. So you want to try to keep it as concise as you can while still getting the information out and making sense. And then the last part is the bottom slice. This is going to be the call to action. So once they've already watched your video, they got the information. Now, what do they do next? This is as simple as give me a follow or DM me for more information on whatever the topic was in that video. And not every video needs a call to action, because what I'm seeing now is some people are starting to get a little bit annoyed of the call to action, but if the video makes sense for it, definitely sprinkle it in. So once the ideas are solid, now we have to come up with the hooks. And I want you to think of the hook as the headline to your video. This is going to be like the bold statement, or it might be a question. Again, this is the most important part of the video. So without this, no one's going to stop to watch your content. So these are the different types of hooks that you can use for your videos. The first one is going to be the negative hook. So that can be like, avoid this common mistake. Here's why you're not getting the result of X. The second one is going to be the curiosity hook. Have you seen, or you're not going to believe the results that my client got from doing X. The third one is going to be the teaser hook. You'll see these more on TikTok. You'll see these more on YouTube, where it'll kind of give you a little teaser of what's to come, or it'll tell you, stick around to the end for X and I have a free guide, or, something like that. Then you have contradicting beliefs. So you've been told to do X, instead you should do Y. And then you have solutions or benefits, so you can get straight to the point on the hook and let them know exactly what the video is going to be about. And then the last one is FOMO. If you don't know what FOMO means, it's fear of missing out. And that's don't miss out on X, or the secret to growing your brand. They need to know what the hell this is, because they're going to feel left out. So now they want to watch your video. And then again, I'll touch on call to actions. These are going to go at the end of your video. It's just another way for you to promote a product or service. But again, you don't want to do this at the end of each video, especially if you are promoting something, because they're going to feel like they're being sold to. And a lot of people, it comes off sleazy to them, and it doesn't feel as authentic. So they're going to want to skip, and they're not going to want to continue to follow you. So you want to keep a good balance, about 80-20. 80% of the time, give them the value, tell them just follow you. The other 20% actually promote. So some examples of call to actions are send them to a landing page or a website so that they can now enter your funnel and go down that. Tell them to like, comment, or follow. Tell them to share, or just have them send you a DM so that you can start a conversation. And if you're doing like a high ticket item, then you can get them on the phone to close on that. And if we're doing call to actions, there's a couple more examples. This is a direct response. So if you're blank, then click the link in the bio to book and get it up. I'm sorry, trying to burp at the same time. If you're blank, then click the link in the bio to book a call and get you started. If you want to do more DM stuff, you would use a call to action just like this. If you want a free training, want more help, or you want us to handle this, DM me the word blank. In this case, it could be like DM me the word content. You can have them follow. So you could do like follow for more tips, or follow to become a better real estate investor. The other thing that most people don't think about is that you can actually batch your call to actions. So instead of recording them at the end of each one of your videos, you can already record a bunch, have them ready. And then when you go to edit them, or you have an editor, they already have them and they can just add them to the end. This makes it a little bit easier for people. And then the call to action, you also want to not just have it in the video, but you want to add it to your captions. So a lot of times, even if you're not going to add it in the video, you can almost always add it to the caption, because it's less salesy. People can choose not to read it. And again, you can put those in all your captions. Okay, so now we've already got to the point where we brainstormed everything. We got the ideas down. We now scripted everything. The framework is there. Now comes the part where you have to actually film the content. The easiest way to do this, in my opinion, is to batch, record them all in one sitting. Now, this is going to be up to you and your preference. I mentioned in the beginning of the video, you can do this once a month, you can do this weekly. Me personally, I prefer to do everything once a month because I have other things to do while running my business that I don't want to have to focus every single week. I need content, I need content, I need content. Because even though I'm telling you that this is going to be in 3 hours, it can take you much longer in the beginning because you're trying to figure it out and see what's working, what's not. I'm giving you the training so that you understand what goes into it, and this can easily be done in 3 hours. But don't complicate this part by thinking about I don't have the right gear, I need to get that fancy camera. Not at all. You don't have to be fancy. If you've been on TikTok, you know some of the better content is people just selfie mode with their phone and just getting straight to it. It's even to the point that I've thought about I should put down my fancy camera and I should just start using my phone. That stuff seems to be doing better. It just depends on what your niche is, but it's again it's preference. But don't get super fancy. Really, when you're starting off, you want to keep it simple because you don't want to have the learning curve of learning the new buttons and how the camera works and all this lighting. It's too overwhelming. The best thing to do would be to start number one with your camera or your smartphone. You can use a webcam. I'm using a webcam right now on my laptop, or you can use a mirrorless camera if you have it in the budget. The second thing that you're going to need is a tripod. Your phone should go on the tripod so that your hands free, you hit record, and you don't have to, you can move and show emotion as much as you want. The third thing I would definitely invest into is a microphone. Your audio is way more important than the quality of your video. If your audio sounds like shit, nobody's going to listen. So you want to make sure that your audio is hooked up. You can do it with a wireless or you can have it hooked up to your camera. There's different options. And then when it comes to lighting, if you don't have the budget for it, there's two things you could do. One, record during the day and get in front of a window. That's some of the best natural lighting you can have. And if not, go outside. You go outside, make sure you don't have the sun beaming on you at 12 o'clock, but you can do it in the shade. However, just make sure it's not super blown out, but outside also works. If you do have a little bit more of a budget, then you can order just a cheap set off of Amazon. I hate to tell people to get the ring light, but it's better than sitting in the dark. So if that's what you got to go with, then the ring light will work just fine. But again, I want to stress, please, if there's anything that you're going to buy, get that tripod and make sure you get the microphone. Audio is way more important. No one's going to watch if the audio is terrible. So I bet you're wondering, well, now that I got everything's filmed, well, what about the editing? The truth is that you should not be editing your videos. Editing takes way too long, and it's actually the reason why most people become inconsistent. So there's a couple different things that I recommend. One is you have apps like Captions, CapCut, Video Leap, things like that. If you can try to keep it as simple as possible, just removing some of the mistakes and things like that. Don't get fancy putting transitions. Just add the captions on there, remove the mistakes, and keep it that simple. Now, the reason why you don't want to go crazy with editing is because if you are going to record 20 to 30 videos in one sitting, it can take you 30 minutes to an hour, sometimes even more, to do the edits that you're seeing on social media or even on my page if you see my videos. It can take a really long time. So now, if you just spend 3 hours putting all together, now it's going to take you another 30 hours to get these videos done. Chances are you're not going to want to do it next month, and you probably won't finish doing it this month. So you want to try to make sure you keep it as simple as possible. The next option is if you have the budget for it, I would 100% hire it out. Now, you have options like Fiverr, Upwork. Those, they can be okay, but you have to realize that you get what you pay for. The second option that I would say, if you're going to hire, is you want to look for an agency, an editing agency like my company, or there's a lot of different companies out there, but this is what we specialize in. So we know exactly what the videos need to look like. We know how to cut them. We know what to add. We know what different fonts to do, and we will make your life so much easier. So if anybody that's watching this training has any questions about that, I'm not going to get specific into editing, but again, I can recommend some apps and kind of lead you there. If you're looking to get editing done for you, then we can also talk about that as well. And so that's gonna wrap it up. This is my social media. I hope this training was very helpful for you guys. This is my TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Now, I did mention some of those things on the equipment. So I do have a list, a gear list, and it's some of the gear that I use. And then there's also another part on that list for people that are just beginning to do their content, what they should get, like even the microphone that they can get to connect to their iPhone as wireless, things like that. What type of tripod, within budget. So if you're interested in that, make sure that if you're watching the replay or if you're watching it live, just comment the word gear, and then I'll get that over to you as soon as possible. And again, if if you're watching this live or if you're watching the replay, please give me a thumbs up. Share this with somebody, anybody that needs to hear this. I know I went through a lot in a short span of time, and there's so much more that I can go into, but for the purpose of this time, that's all I have for you guys this evening. So, anybody that's in the chat right now have any questions, I'll go ahead and answer those. If not, um, have a good night. So, I'll give it a minute and see if anybody has any questions. I do want to thank everybody. I'm seeing some likes, I'm seeing some hearts. We got about we got a few people in here, and even on YouTube, have a few people watching. But yeah, it's very, like I said, it's very important that we stop thinking about content being um, going viral. We don't need to go viral. I have a question here. What is a great way to find topics? Okay, so I think I don't know if you watched the entire training, but I kind of covered it quickly. I'll go into it again real quick. What you want to do is I'll just show you the Google Play. So if you want to find topics, figure out what keywords are in your industry. So for you, I know you're in real estate, so maybe real estate agents, right? Just type that in, come down into Google to where it says people ask, and if every time you hit this arrow here and then you bring it back up, it's going to give you more questions. So this will give you an idea of what kind of topics. Just go through different keywords, and just here you can get a bunch of questions already in topics. Are most millionaire real estate agents? Is real estate a wealthy career? Why are most millionaires in real estate? How to get rich through real estate? What's the most simplest job? Is the Texas real estate exam hard? Is becoming a realtor worth it in Texas? So again, you have to play around with the keywords and figure out what's going to be within your industry, and just start from there and use Google. Okay, no, that's all good, man. I saw you came in, but I'm just happy you're here. So thank you for showing up. Got another question. What phone do you recommend? Uh, I would definitely say you want to have a phone that's pretty recent. If you're using iPhone, I'd say maybe like an iPhone 11 and newer. I'm not too familiar with Androids, but same thing. I would say something that came out recently within the last few years that has better quality. Um, and if not, maybe get yourself a new phone. So you can make monthly payments. That part's actually pretty cheap, but you want to make sure that the phone is at least recent so that your videos can also look decent. So yeah, what else do we have here? You got an iPhone 12, yeah, so that's perfect. And you want to try to use the back side of it. So obviously that side of the camera is much better than the front facing camera, but you can actually connect it to your laptop. If you have a MacBook, you can connect it and you can actually see your screen on your laptop, so you can see exactly what your phone is looking at. Do you color grade your video? No, honestly, I don't color grade because that's one more step that I need to worry about. So what I do is I use some of the filters on my Sony camera, and then my editor, once I send everything to the editing team, they'll kind of adjust some things if I look too red or things like that. But we don't really do too much color grading. I try to make sure that it looks great right out of camera. Because again, it's just one last thing I got to worry about. I'm trying to get these videos out quick. I'm trying to have my editing team, do a quick turnaround. If we're color grading everything, and that's going to take so much longer. So we definitely try to keep the process simple. Let's see other questions in here. We got Kellen here, said live in the building. Thank you for showing up, showing love. See, Manuel is in here as well. We got a pretty good turnout. Let's talk about editing. I'm starting to close deal with Reels. So at the end there, I kind of here. Let me go back. I don't really like to touch too much on editing because it is the most complicated part, and I feel like if you're a business owner, you shouldn't be worrying about editing. It takes too long. It's too much of a learning curve. One, you have to learn how to use the software, right? So if you're using Premiere Pro, using Final Cut, you have to look you have to learn how to use that first. That can take time. Then you have to learn how to actually edit the videos that you want to post. So there's two different things you got to learn there. And that right there can take you forever. And if you're somebody that doesn't have the time, it's going to be very hard for you to try to edit that and get on all these platforms. So you definitely want to try to either hire somebody like I mentioned on Fiverr, Upwork. Um, those aren't always the greatest because sometimes there's a language barrier or sometimes the communication might take longer. They're on the other side of the world. So, you get what you pay for. But if you're going to edit yourself, again, keep it simple. Don't go crazy trying to put a million transitions. Don't add a bunch of different cuts. Just remove the ums, the buts, anywhere you might have messed up, and just add the captions. Almost like you almost want to make it look like you just recorded it and posted it. It's going to make it much easier. As time goes by, you'll get better at recording the videos. You'll get more comfortable. You'll start to sound more natural. You'll mess up less, and it'll be much easier. But then once you get to a certain point, you do want to hire that out. I would go crazy if I had to edit 30 to 60 videos every month. I know people that still do it for themselves, and kudos to them. But I have time for other things that are producing more money for my business. So for sure, if you're doing the editing right now, handle it. But it's a process, man. I see. Okay, look forward to watching the replay. Yeah, it'll be up shortly, so you could definitely give it a watch. And again, don't forget to like this video, share with anybody that you know that may be a business owner that they're stuck on creating content and they know that they're ready for it. They just don't know where to start. So this training is definitely a good starting point. Just to kind of go through it again, we touched on the creating ideas, brainstorming, how to do the framework of your video from the hook to the value to the call to action, and then all the way through to what you need to be filming. So if there's any other questions about anything that I touched on, or if you came in later and have a question, I can try to touch on it again. But for the most part, we want to try to keep things simple, and we don't want to spend too much on equipment. We don't need to be fancy. So myself, if I wasn't a videographer before starting my agency, I probably wouldn't have the fanciest gear either. I would just go straight to the phone and start from there. And then once I start getting more money, start getting better paying clients, that's when I would upgrade. So If there's no more questions, I'm gonna end the live here. I hope everybody got some tidbits, some gems out of this. I'll be honest, I didn't even expect to go 50 minutes, but we really went into a lot of details here. So thanks everybody for showing up. We will be doing a live every single week, and we're not holding anything back. Everything, all the gems, all the secrets, everything is being shown to the public. So definitely just stay on the lookout. I'll be creating more posts and letting people know exactly when those will be. So thank you for showing up, and everybody have a great night. And again, if you're watching this on the replay, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you like it, comment, share. It really helps out. Thank you, guys.